This is a stressful time for Yukoners, for business owners and employees facing hardship and anxiety. I'm sure that we're all experiencing a mix of emotions that may be difficult to express. It's important that we continue to support each other and remember that collaboration and kindness are what makes Yukon strong. Circumstances are evolving, and as we learn more and evaluate, we are responding. The government of Yukon is continuing to identify new support systems to provide for Yukoners in need during this pandemic. We have been collaborating with the Government of Canada to coordinate on how to best help Yukoners. And the Department of Economic Development, our main priority at this time is providing critical resources to support Yukon's economy. This includes our recent changes to the Yukon nominee program, as well as the recently implemented paid sick leave rebate program. I'm here today to announce the next funding program that our department is providing to businesses. The Government of Yukon is now offering the temporary support for events funding program. This program is designed to help those businesses that had made investments for large-scale events in Yukon that couldn't take place because of COVID-19. The events funding program is specifically intended to reduce losses involving perishable goods or the cancellation of accommodation and services that cannot be recovered. As an example of this would be a restaurant that purchased much higher amount of food supplies ahead of the Arctic Winter Games or the Yukon Native Hockey Tournament that may have then gone to waste. Other examples could include advertising expenses for the event, service bookings, contracts with vendors, or the cost of hiring new staff specifically in preparation for the event. This program applies to any event canceled due to COVID-19 between March 7th and July 31st that was expected to have more than 50 participants. It is important to note that these expenses must have occurred before the Chief Medical Officer of Health made recommendations to ban gatherings of over 50 people on March 16th. Eligible businesses are also required to make efforts to return supplies, cancel contracts, and limit losses before applying for this program. Funding will be available to cover up to 100% of these irretrievable losses. While the loss of these large gatherings is disappointing to all Yukoners, the negative impact is especially heavy for businesses that invested in these preparations. The program will reduce some of their burden during a period that is already hurting Yukon's businesses. As I mentioned earlier, circumstances are evolving, and as we learn more and evaluate, we are responding. We are listening to the Business Advisory Council and continuing to address the challenges our economy is facing. The Department of Economic Development will keep working with local businesses and adapt as we navigate this changing economic landscape. The newly formed Business Advisory Council are in direct contact with Yukon businesses, and our comprehensive surveys measuring the impact of COVID-19 all inform our government's response. These relationships are important and are helping to guide how we address the impacts of COVID-19.